Y'all, thank you for being part of the county chamber, and you're gonna, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So join, and bring all your friends and family and associates to the after hours, which will be held on June 12th. It's there on the table in front of you in a flyer. So please show up June 12th for our business after hours. With that, again, this month, the United Way has graciously sponsored today's event, and today I want to introduce the President and CEO of the United Way of Northwest Florida, Gina Littleton. Come on up, Gina.
Garrett's a little taller than I am. Good morning. I am excited to speak with y'all today, not just as a representative of United Way, but as a fellow community member who believes in the power of partnership, especially when it comes to creating a stronger, more resilient local economy. And this is my first day with PowerPoints. Hey. Before we go any further, I want to take a moment to recognize the incredible people and partners who make the work of United Way of Northwest Florida possible. First, our small but mighty team, Briley Daniels, Jackie Flynn, Melissa O'Connor, and Branton Peacock. Not pictured up there is my nephew, Preston Levy, who's interning with us this month. Preston, wave. Anybody who's with any of our partner agencies, can y'all stand up? Wave your hands if you're in the back. Their work is a part of the backbone of this community. They are the ones who show up every day, and we are proud to stand with them and honored to have them as collaborators in our important mission. Each year, United Way of Northwest Florida leads a community campaign, a collective fundraising effort that brings together individuals, businesses, and organizations across our region. The goal is simple but powerful: to raise critical funds to support programs and services improving lives throughout our 6-county footprint. This campaign is a reflection of what's possible when a community chooses to invest in itself. And today, I'm honored to share the results of that effort. Thanks to generous workplace campaigns, individual gifts, grants, corporate donations, fundraisers, and in-kind contributions, we are proud to report that our 2024 community campaign total is $1,575,269. And 6 cents. That's an increase of more than $120,000 from last year, an extraordinary testament to what happens when people come together, many of them in this room, with collaboration, compassion, and commitment. But the work of United Way extends far beyond fundraising totals. At its core, our mission is about creating meaningful, measurable change in the lives of individuals and families across the 6 counties we serve. It's not just about raising dollars. It's about how these dollars are translated into real services, direct support, and sustainable outcomes. Our efforts reach people at pivotal moments, times of uncertainty, transition, and vulnerability, and connect them with resources that remind them they are not alone. Our efforts are focused on the ALICE population, asset-limited, income-constrained, employed, individuals and families who work hard but still struggle to make ends meet. They earn above the poverty line, yet can't consistently afford essentials like housing, childcare, health care, or transportation. Each initiative we lead is rooted in the belief that everyone deserves access to opportunity and support when they need it most. This past year, United Way programs have strengthened our region through targeted, results-driven impact. Programs like Reading Pals, which connected over 150 students in Bay and Washington counties with mentors who fostered early literacy skills through a focus on reading, phonics, comprehension, and consistent encouragement. Like VITA, our volunteer income tax assistance program, which saved community members over $750,000 in tax preparation fees and returned more than $3.3 million in refunds to low to moderate income working families. Like Yoga for Seniors, in partnership with Florida Blue, bringing health and wellness activities to aging adults through programming at the Councils on Aging in Bay, Washington, and Holmes counties. Or Stuff the Bus, which delivered over $22,000 in school supplies and donations across all 6 school districts we serve, meeting critical back-to-school needs for students and teachers. Or any number of our community events and initiatives such as 211, the Sports Equipment Swap Meet, our health fair in partnership with the LEAD Coalition, or Clothes for Kids. All of these represent just a few examples of the diverse, responsive programming United Way coordinates to address ever-evolving local needs. In addition to direct services, United Way serves as critical infrastructure and capacity building partner to more than 50 nonprofit organizations in our region. Our impact includes marketing support through a partnership with Superior Productions Marketing, providing free advertising opportunities to our partner agencies. Volunteer coordination through online volunteer management system, which helps match local talent and time to areas of need. Support for collaborative program delivery, especially in competitive large-scale grant applications where a united front can unlock greater resources. And of course, funding support through both donor designations and our annual funds distribution process, powered entirely by dollars raised through workplace campaigns. This year, our funds distribution process invested $300,000 into programs and initiatives led by our incredible partner agencies. $200,000 was invested through our traditional granting process, funding 31 organizations across 6 counties. And $100,000 was invested directly into our ALICE population through 2 large $50,000 grants intensely focused on providing programs and services that aim to level up our employed but struggling families. Our traditional grants are supporting programs from after-school care to meals for homebound seniors, increasing parent engagement in schools to providing financial literacy classes for struggling families. Our ALICE mobility grants are funding mental health programming for ALICE youth and young adults in Bay County, and a targeted, holistic approach to workforce development through job-ready skills development and housing in Jackson County. Through all of this impact we've just explored, whether it's improving mental health access, providing early literacy mentoring, returning dollars to our community through VITA, expanding workforce readiness, stabilizing families, supporting local nonprofits, and collaborating with our communities, one thing is clear. United Way of Northwest Florida turns community support into meaningful, measurable results, and the numbers prove it. This past year, United Way achieved a powerful return on investment for our region. For every $1 raised in our workplace campaigns, we were able to return $6 in impact directly to individuals, families, and local agencies across Northwest Florida. That's not just a statistic. It's a measurable outcome that speaks to the efficiency, reach, and strategic coordination of our work. It means that the dollars contributed by businesses and employees didn't just make a difference, they multiplied it, turning everyday generosity into wide-reaching, long-term change. Oh, thank you. I bring Brittany with me everywhere. In real terms, that equates to $5,283,131 in total impact in just 1 year. This impact touches every corner of our community, from education and workforce development to health services, financial stability, housing, and basic needs. It helps stabilize families, strengthen our workforce, and reduce long-term burdens on public systems, benefiting not just those in need, but our regional economy as a whole. At United Way, we believe that strong communities start with strong partnerships, and we are proud to deliver a return that's not only financially efficient, but socially transformative. As you've heard today, the impact of our work is broad, strategic, and deeply rooted in the well-being of our communities and the success of our economy. But none of it happens in a vacuum. It takes business leaders who are willing to step forward, employees who believe in giving back, organizations that understand that investing in people isn't charity, it's good business. United Way of Northwest Florida is not just a nonprofit. We are your partner in building a stronger, healthier, and more resilient region. So as we look to the year ahead, I invite you to join us. Whether it's through a workplace campaign, a corporate partnership, sponsorship, volunteering, or simply helping us spread the word, there's a role for every business in this room to play. Because when we invest in Alice families, in education, in health, and in opportunity, we're not just supporting those in need. We're strengthening the workforce, the neighborhoods, and the future that we all share. Let's continue working together to build a Northwest Florida where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. If y'all are not a part of United Way, that one slide, impact, that word impact, they are a difference maker to our community. So thank you, Gina, for all you do, okay, for our community. Great job. All right, every month, the chairman of the board gives us an update on chamber activities. Please welcome up our super chairman, Shane Boyette.
All right, I always like it when I get a promotion to super. And always love seeing this crowd here packing out this room, month in and month out. I love seeing people standing in the back, even when there are seats available, but today there's none. So, it's good to see you guys in the back as well. So good morning, Bay County, and on behalf of Patrick Chapin and the chamber staff, we want to welcome you to First Friday. First, I would like to thank Gina for giving her presentation and also the sponsorship for today. Thank you. How many times did you say United Way today, Gina? Count them up. That's funny. I was thinking of a Toyota commercial when she was talking. I'd like to thank Representative Griffiths for being here today with us, as well as our keynote speaker, Florida DOT Secretary Jared Perdue. Thank you for taking your time today out of your busy schedules to be with us. And we're proud to welcome Innovations Financial Credit Union as the newest vision investor to join the Chamber of Bay County. Their commitment to our community goes beyond just normal membership. They're helping lead the way in Bay County business and economic development. Innovations is joining, as you can see, a growing list of partners, including Bill Kramer Automotive, CBC Construction, Dermatology Specialists of Florida, Early Learning Coalition of Northwest Florida, Florida Power and Light, the St. Joe Company, and Systems Service and Engineering. Their support has been instrumental in launching and growing this transformative initiative, and together we're investing in a stronger chamber and a stronger Bay County. And to learn more about this program, you can talk to Patrick Chapin. There's room for more. All right. Well, so as we turn the page on May and we look ahead to June, I do want to kind of go over some things that we did last month. Last month in this room was an awesome event. We had our Tourism Appreciation First Friday. That's always a fun time to join with the Beach Chamber. And while it was great celebrating Bay County's #1 industry for the month, in reality, it's something we truly celebrate every day here in Bay County. So as part of Tourism Appreciation Month, we had our annual Spring Golf Classic out at Legacy Golf Club on May 16th. Yes. We have some lively chamber members. It was an outstanding day of meaningful connections and camaraderie on the greens, and we'd like to thank everyone who came out and made this possible. I also want to congratulate the winners of this year's golf tournament. It was not the team on the left, but the first place team was Centennial Bank. Our second place team this year was ABC Supply. And third place was 810 Billiards and Bowling, Panama City. So we also partnered with Destination Panama City for Business After Hours and the annual Cornhole Tournament. As it turns out, Chamber members are some highly skilled baggers, and we'd like to congratulate the winning teams of that tournament. First place this year was Lamar's Advertising, better known as Lamar Sandbaggers. All right. Our second place team this year was the City of Panama City Beaches Uncivil Servants. And last but not least, our third place team was Career Sources JB's Baggin' Rights. There's JB on the right there. So that was a fun event as well. On a more serious note, we had our Military Affairs Committee hosted on May 14th, welcoming Captain Paul Stentz to our community, along with his wife Belinda, as we officially welcome the new CO to our community. So that was a great event out at Hotel Indigo. We'd also like to congratulate all the newly elected officials. We did have a runoff here last month, and so finally election season is behind us here in Bay County. You can applaud that, right? Yep. So thankful for our public servants. And, this one strikes close to home for me as we think about June 1st and what's ahead of us. This marks the beginning of hurricane season. And so while we love our blue sky days here in Bay County, it's not a matter of if, but when. We are visited by another tropical cyclone. And so today is the time to prepare your home and business, and make sure you already have a plan in place. Our Bay EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, maintains a disaster preparedness guide. They have that online. I strongly encourage you to go out and download that, take a look at it, and make sure you have a plan for you and your family. As again, it's not a matter of if, but when. So, in addition to that, the state has a tax holiday in place through June 14th, so you can take advantage of purchasing those necessary and essential items to get yourself ready for storm, tax-free. You can find a list of those items at floridadisaster.org. And then today, along this same line, the Chamber is hosting, along with our sponsor, Hut Insurance, a hurricane preparedness seminar. So this is the second year we're doing this, and this seminar will feature expert speakers who will share insights and resources to help our community prepare for hurricane season, both before and responding after a storm. Vendors will be available to help you in the rotunda, so I encourage you to come visit with our vendors. And then, thinking about, it seems like storms are coming more frequently and maybe more intensely. It's more important now than ever to be ready. So if you haven't registered for the seminar today, there's still time to do that. It starts at 10:30 here in this room, and just see Lisa Moore to get signed up for that. Okay, Leadership Bay. Where are you at, Leadership Bay? Here we go. Yeah, you can go ahead and start making your way up. So our 2025 class of Leadership Bay consisted of a group of 18 exceptional individuals that dedicated their time over the last several months to learn about Bay County industries, challenges, and opportunities. Their commitment to community engagement and professional growth has truly set them apart. As part of the tradition of Leadership Bay, each class completes a class project designed to make a lasting impact that benefits the business community. This year's class chose to focus on career development and workforce readiness in our region. That is a key initiative of the Chamber that we're behind, workforce development. And at this time, please join me in welcoming the 2024-2025 class of Leadership Bay to the stage. Thank you. Okay, next up is Chris Hatcher. He's going to introduce the Leadership Bay's newest career tool.
Good morning. My name is Chris Hatcher. I work across the street at Gulf Coast State College, and my Leadership Bay classmates and I are proud to briefly talk to you today about the who, what, why, where, when, and how of our project, which is titled Bay In-Demand Jobs. Yeah, you can go on. Oh. My classmates and I are the 42nd installation of Leadership Bay, which was founded in 1983 as a community leadership development program designed to cultivate and broaden networks, educate up-and-coming leaders, about the local economy via bi-weekly tourism presentations, strengthen community involvement and commitment, and train a new batch of leaders who will drive positive change in Bay County. In addition to going through Leadership Bay's core curriculum, every class must conceive, plan, and execute a class project. Projects must benefit Bay County's business community, and every class member is required to participate throughout the process to enhance their project management skills. For us, we decided to design a marketing campaign to inform stakeholders about our area's most in-demand jobs. To do so, we collected your thoughts and opinions via survey earlier this spring. Then, we leveraged your survey data to create a web page listing what you feel are our area's top 9 in-demand jobs, along with the training and education people should consider, skills and experience necessary for hire, and businesses who need such workers. Thank you. It's a little more than that, I promise. We made Bay in demand to hopefully address the employment concerns that many of our presenters mentioned during the tours we had every other Wednesday. First, we heard about problems with acquisition, recruitment, and migration of talent in and out of Bay County. Second, we realized that there may be limitations to the timing of existing online job hiring platforms. Third, we wondered if there are any gaps in the education and training opportunities offered in our community. And then lastly, we sought to help or underemployed individuals, such as the asset-limited, income-constrained, employed population that the United Way taught us about during their session. Having set the stage, my classmates and I are super excited to announce that you can now access Bay in Demand by visiting panamacity.org/bay-in-demand. And once you arrive at our webpage, you'll see tiles that list the top 9 in-demand jobs in order according to their prominence in our survey. When you click on any one of those tiles, you'll then visit an underlying webpage that describes more information. And we derive that information using the survey data and everyone's responses. Since every Leadership Bay project must have a long-term effect or presence, Bay County Chamber of Commerce staff plan on disseminating a new survey to membership annually. That new data will then be used to update our webpage so everyone can have a fresh insight into our area's most in-demand jobs. We hope that you all will be able to use our Bay in Demand project as a tool to collectively voice your local workforce needs, develop or scale education and training programs to meet demand, advertise future career opportunities, and show people how they can possibly upskill or reskill. And most importantly, our webpage can help everyone brainstorm how we can make our vision for Bay County come true. So in closing, my classmates and I are extremely thankful for everyone and the opportunity to participate in Leadership Bay. We highly recommend the program too, so we please encourage you to ask your rising stars and all your organizations to apply when applications become available, which I believe is sometime soon. And then in closing, thank you for letting us present about our project, and we're going to stick around, so if you have any questions about it or would like to provide us feedback, we'd be more than welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Leadership Class 42. All right, ambassadors, it's that time. It's the awards that I have a hard time pronouncing every month. But we're going to recognize our ambassadors. Thank you so much for all that you do for our chamber. Let's give it up for our ambassadors. Yeah. right, so each month our ambassadors select our Apple of Our Eye Award winners to recognize local businesses that make our community more visually appealing. We have 2 category winners today. The Apple of Our Eye winner in the category of new construction is The Exchange at North Bay. Here to accept the award is Latasha Menard, the property manager. Pose for a picture here. Congratulations, Latasha, on a beautiful property there. The second Apple of Our Eye Award winner is in the category of renovation, and today's winner is Gilman Group Realty. Accepting the award today is Taylor White, Realtor. We appreciate all you do to help our community look more visually appealing and for doing your part to build a better bay, so thank you again. On the membership front, we do have a question for you. Do you love Mexican food and margaritas? ¿Te gusta la comida mexicana y las margaritas? Okay, that's better. If so, please join us on June 12th, as Garrett mentioned, for our business after hours at the Residences at Sweet Bay from 4 to 6. Don't miss this fun opportunity. We'd love to see you there. And so that's all I've got for this month. I want to go ahead and welcome to the stage our friend, Representative Griffiths. He is going to introduce our next speaker. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back in Bay County. That's all I can tell you is a lot of y'all have heard me speak before, and I tell you how blessed we are to live right here in Bay County. And when you spend a lot of time in Tallahassee, it's just so much better to get back home. Normally, it would be myself or Senator Trumbull probably giving you an update on what we've done over the last 60, 80, 90 days. But we can't seem to finish it in Tallahassee, so I can't give you an update. We got to go back and do some more work. We'll hopefully pass our budget on the 16th of the month. And then hopefully in the next few months, I can come back and tell you all the great things we did or we didn't do. But hopefully we'll get to that. But for today, this is a great experience here today. So we're so blessed to have 26 state agencies, I think is what it is, 26 state agencies under Governor DeSantis. But we have one that's very, very powerful. They control our roads, our seaports, and our airports. And the man that drives that is from Bay County. Went to Mosley High School. I know, and I'm a Bay High guy, and I'm proud of it. So it's very, very, the Panhandle folks, we just act a lot different than the rest of the state. We just do. And so I had met the Secretary's dad and brother through some events through the years, and so earlier this year, I called his legislative affairs director, and I said, can he spend 15 minutes with me in my office? We kind of know each other, but not really, but I just wanted to get him in the office. And a lot of times those legislative affairs directors think that they're in trouble, and they're like, what do you want to talk about? And I said, well, he's from the Central Time Zone, and I think we probably think alike, and I just want to meet a guy from my hometown. And he was like, oh, perfect, we'll be right there. So it worked out. But we are so very, very lucky to have a guy like Jared in charge of the Department of Transportation for the state. Not only does he think like the Central Time Zone and the Panhandle, but he's just an all-around great guy. He has a massive amounts of responsibility. You can tell he's been gone too long because he's got a tie on. So he came and he said, I've never spoken in front of my hometown. I said, I can fix that. I can fix that real quick. So it is my pleasure, it is really my pleasure to introduce to y'all the Secretary of the Florida Department of Transportation, who is a hometown boy and who will do great things for the future of Florida, Secretary Jared Perdue.
Good morning. All right, I'm going to spice it up a little bit. For those of you standing in the back, please don't fret. I will finish in less than an hour. We have a very big program, got a lot to talk about, but I first want to start off by thanking Representative Griffiths for having me here. I mean, he's a good friend, he's a strong advocate for Bay County, and also Senator Trumbull, who I know is not here this morning. Both of them, they represent my hometown and all of you with pride and dignity, and they do a great job in Tallahassee, and it's not sometimes a fun place to be, so I really appreciate their service, and thank you for Representative for giving me an opportunity to come home. Really appreciate that. I actually want to recognize a few people in the audience. So I have a lot of family here. They're sitting at the table here. Raise your hand, family, right here. So in particular, and yes, I'm from the Panhandle, so I tell stories. So it really is going to take a while. But in particular, my grandmother is here, Janie Maples. Raise your hand. We call her Gigi. So she's my last living grandparent. She has had the opportunity to know all of her great-grandchildren, which is a tremendous blessing from God himself. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm from Bay County, because my grandfather, who passed away, Lester Maples, was an engineer, which is why I'm an engineer. And he was actually the project engineer for the Deer Point Dam project, which is Bay County's water supply. So yes. You may not know, but Bay County's water supply is actually nationally and world renowned. There's probably very few places today where you could actually put a dam in the middle of a bay. So it's probably never going to happen again. But secondly, and they also use dynamite to build the foundation. I don't think you could do that today. But secondly, it's an endless water source. A lot of water supplies are dammed up rivers and are subject to droughts and rainfall. And you all right here in Bay County have a water supply that just continues to pump. And so it's really actually remarkable. It's unique, and it's really a blessing. And I'm proud that my grandfather was able to work on that. So just to say a few more words, I see several partners in here. Like, we're all in this thing together. Truly, I value all of the partnerships that we have in transportation. I see Parker and Alex from our airport and our seaport here in Panama City. They're a really big part of your economy. They're a big part of Florida's economy. And the things that they do for Bay County and the state of Florida are truly remarkable. A lot of our local elected officials that I know and some of our government partners, employees, really appreciate all the work that you do. So I'm going to talk about a few things this morning. I'm going to kind of set the stage. Typically, this time of year, I would be coming to you to announce another amazing FDOT budget that had been passed by the legislature and signed into law by the governor. But as you heard from Representative Griffiths, we don't have that yet, so really looking forward to that. But I am going to talk about what was in the governor's recommended budget. And, as things are progressing along, and they've had a lot of conferencing this week. I think they're going to be conferencing through the weekend. It looks like things are kind of lining up to be a pretty good budget year. But there is a focus on reduced spending, and, that's good for Florida. We have a great economy. We have a lean, efficient government, and we definitely want to keep it that way. So this morning, I'm going to kind of set the stage. I'm going to talk about our organization, what we do, why it's important. I'm going to talk about our budget and funding. I'm going to talk some about the state legislative space in terms of transportation and also federal. And I'm going to talk about Bay County projects, and I'm going to play a little game with myself. I'm going to see if I can actually talk about them without using notes, because I was actually an engineer here in the local District 3 office when a lot of these projects started. So I'm kind of excited about that. Real quick before I get started, I know there are some FDOT District 3 employees and leadership in this room. Just raise your hand real quick. District Secretary Philip Gaynor. So Secretary Gaynor is the District 3 Secretary. I worked directly for him as his subordinate for 8 years, all right? And so now the tides have turned. Now I'm the boss. It's payback. So anyways, thank you for what you do to FDOT employees in here. They work really hard. All right, just to set the stage, we are, and I'm gonna kind of give you the context. If you look at FDOT as an organization globally, we would be in the top half of Fortune 500 corporations. That is how big our investment portfolio is. And so we have to look at our program, we have to look at our capital plan, we have to look at our operation like a corporate business. And we have to evolve. We have to evolve and make decisions like we are a private sector business. This is how we truly impact Florida's economy in a good way. So we have a spaceport, world-renowned spaceport, most launches from that spaceport of anywhere in the entire world. It is the best geographic location to launch rockets. And we set a record last year. I think we got up to 70 launches. They're on track this year to have close to 150 launches. Space is becoming the mode of transportation for the future, and it will move people and it will move goods globally, but also back and forth into space. And you begin to see this very coordinated effort. And there is a plan to get to the moon, to get to Mars. I know you hear Elon talk about it, but NASA actually has a plan. They have a lot of contracts. And so we actually participate as FDOT in the infrastructure on the spaceport. We invest in shared use infrastructure, and it's primarily focused on increasing launch capacity of that spaceport in Canaveral. So it's something that we're really proud of and we're going to continue investing in. We have the 16th largest economy in the world, and so other countries view us as a direct trade partner like we're a country. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. We're the only state with 4 large hub commercial airports, and we have the second highest passenger boardings in the U.S. Our airports are really important to us here in Florida. They're a big part of our economy. We have the 3 largest cruise ports in the world. The cruise industry has really taken off, and a lot of people come from all over the country to get on cruises in Florida ports. And finally, last but not least, we have the most mega projects in our work program in FDOT history. A mega project is a project worth $500 million or more. Right now, we currently have, it's 5 or 6 under construction. We have another 7 planned in the next 4 years. We have the most mega projects of any state DOT in the country. All right, so, and this is because of the leadership of Governor DeSantis and his focus on investing in infrastructure. And if you hear him talk, almost every single press conference he does, he always talks about transportation, even if it's for a few seconds, because he's principled, he has vision, and he believes that transportation, number one, is a good investment of tax dollars, but it also improves the quality of life of Florida residents. And year in and year out, the legislature has fully embraced that vision also and continue to fully fund our work program. It's why we've been able to do so much and why we've brought so much capital investment even to Bay County. Currently, so our current budget year, we have 1 month left. We have a very big June in terms of construction lettings, but the current budget year right now, our budget is $15.5 billion. We're one of the biggest DOTs in the country, and this is the biggest budget that we've ever had by close to $1 billion, okay? So it's $1 billion bigger than the previous year's budget. And so we're in the last month of what I would call our production cycle, where we're awarding all of our construction contracts. Of that $15.5 billion, $5 billion is specifically for road and bridge construction. So it is a huge program. One thing that I'm proud of at DOT, and this sets us apart from other states, it's actually required by law. We have to invest in maintenance and preservation before we do any capacity. So let's assume, revenues go down for a couple of years. We have this big, huge work program. We have to make sure that maintenance and preservation is done first. It's why we have such a robust resurfacing program, which I'm riding into town this morning. I noticed a few issues I need to talk to District Secretary about. But $1.8 billion in resurfacing. This is a very robust resurfacing program. And I'm telling you, go drive other states. Even some of our partner states that we know and love. Go drive Georgia, go drive Alabama, go drive Texas. Our roads are the highest quality roads in the country, bar none, hands down. And I know I'm biased, but I believe it too because I do a lot of driving. Which, by the way, for those of you who don't know me, I love to work on diesel engines. My wife and I, raise your hand, Brandon, she's here with me. She's staffing me this morning. She's doing an okay job. So we drove our family vehicle up here, 2000 model Ford Excursion, 583,000 miles on it. Has the faded paint to go with it. But, so I drive a lot of miles. All right, so that's our current year budget. The proposed budget, so I'm going to talk about the governor's recommended budget, which is usually close to what the legislature ends up passing, but there are going to be differences. And so it's another very big budget for DOT. It's a little bit smaller than the current year at $14.8 billion, but that's still a very, very big budget. We're hovering around that $15 billion mark. There's a reason why it's a little bit smaller, because we had a legislative budget commission here recently. We advanced $1.7 billion into current year for the governor's Moving Florida Forward initiative. It's not part of that $15.5 billion, but it would have been a part. It would have been added onto this 14.8 if we had not advanced it. So essentially, we're delivering another $1.7 billion of projects that we advanced. And so if this number was reflecting that, it would be much bigger. But so it's still a very healthy budget. And as part of that, the work program is $13.8 billion. And I want to focus in on something that's small but important, and I think you'll appreciate this, the heavy equipment. So this is an operating budget request. We have to get line items for all of our operating budget expenses that we have every year, and the legislature has to approve those. Why do I put heavy equipment up here? $9.2 million. Because our people and our equipment are first on the scene when a hurricane comes through. Saw the slide with hurricane season on it earlier. I got a little bit of PTSD. I've been in this role for 3 years, and we've had 3 very active hurricane seasons, so we're praying for something slow this year, but definitely had to live through Hurricane Michael, as many of you did, and it was devastating. It's quite the emotional experience, and I take that passion to leadership at FDOT, and this is our mission, this is our goal, and we tell our employees, you're absolutely essential. And when a storm passes through, we want to be chasing it out of town. I want FDOT equipment and FDOT people to be there as you're walking out on your porch figuring out what just happened. In order to do that, I'm making a hard sell in front of the representative here. So in order to do that, we need our heavy equipment, and this is the budget it takes to replace it. And so we actually really appreciate that. And they have fully funded this request the last 3 years. And so we're grateful for that. All right, a little bit about the overall funding picture, and I just want to point this out because, again, this makes us unique when you look nationwide. Our funding makeup, we're actually 77% state funds and 23% federal funding. We have a 5-year capital plan. Right now it totals about $66 billion. 77% of that is state funds. It's why we're able to do what we do and do it so quickly, because state funds are the most flexible, the most accessible, and the most efficient. And so having a trust fund, having dedicated revenues coming into that, and the legislature year in and year out continuing to put more funding into that trust fund is what enables us to do our job. And we leverage the federal funds, but we don't need them for a bulk of our work. And so this has helped us, even in these last 4 years, it's helped us really be successful. Legislative session, so it's actually been a very active session. I love to seize every opportunity to get in front of committees and do presentations and talk about what we do. Transportation really truly is the catalyst of society. It's the heartbeat. Like all economic growth, economic output, everything that you do is centered around transportation. If there's a private development or commercial development or new people moving to town, like you cannot grow without transportation infrastructure. You can't grow without public infrastructure, but transportation is the one thing that connects everybody and enables us to keep growing. And so I love getting in front of the legislature and talking about that. I'm very passionate about it. We actually did 18 presentations in committee testimony this past session. I think it went really great. I do think that they appreciate the information that we bring to the table, because essentially what I view our job is to equip them with information to make decisions as they begin to go into session. Almost 2,000 bills were filed, only 255 passed. That's a rate of 13%. All right, so that's not a lot if you look at the big picture. And so it makes me proud, and I'm grateful to the legislature and our partners who support us. It makes me proud that we were actually able to get our transportation, our department bill, to the finish line. It had a lot of really good policy proposals in it that are good for the state of Florida, and so we're really proud that that made it to the finish line. What was in some of our bill? It was a very big bill. I'll call it a transportation omnibus for the state of Florida, but I'm going to highlight just a few key points about it. Senate Bill 1662 is what ended up kind of being the framework for it. It did have a House companion. One, the Florida Transportation Research Institute. So believe it or not, even though we are a world-renowned transportation agency with a world-renowned industry, we don't have a research institute for transportation here in the state of Florida. There are a few institutes that exist within the university system, within a college, but we don't have a standalone research institute. And so this is one of the legacy proposals of this package. It creates a consortium between UCF, UF, USF, FIU, and Indian River State College, and it's because these universities are a few of the ones that are most motivated and engaged in transportation research. And so we're really excited about that. And the goal here is to do transformational research that the rest of the country is looking at and saying, wow, look what Florida's doing. They're moving the needle on this. They're moving the needle on that. Also, the Florida Transportation Academy, this is another idea. So the investments that we make, every dollar we invest in transportation returns $4.26 to your local economy. And we're a big part of the workforce. We're a big part of the job creation. And so we truly believe in investing in workforce development. And so we've created this Transportation Academy through policy that's supposed to be like an umbrella framework. And I'm going to give you two real quick examples. One example that makes this idea very popular, working with the Department of Corrections. For years and years and years, we've had inmate labor. And so we have created an idea of why don't we take that inmate labor, turn it into a training program, hand select inmates that are going to get out, give them a certificate when they get done working with us, and then they're guaranteed a job in our industry. And think about what that will do in reducing recidivism. Another example, we want to work with high schools, vocational schools, state college system, university system to develop transportation-specific tracks that enable people to get a job as soon as they get done. And so if you're in high school and you don't want to go to college and you want to go straight to work, we want to create a track that you can add on to your curriculum in high school. You get a certificate, you graduate, you're guaranteed a job in our industry, and you know what you're going to be making. And so the goal is, hey, let's start attracting people when they're young. Let's show them the path, show them their career path. You can make a lot of money in transportation having never gone to college. And so we want to tap in to those people and get them interested in transportation. And then the last but not least, advanced air mobility. So this essentially is the age of flying cars. All right, we're going to have highways in the sky. These vehicles are called eVTOLs. It's not a very exciting name. They're electric, vertical, and takeoff and landing vehicles. Right now, their range, there's a lot of prototypes out there. Their range is about 60 miles, and they can carry anywhere from 3 to 6 passengers. 5 to 10 years from now, I'll just kind of put it like this. 5 to 10 years from now, you could have a virtual digital corridor in the sky with hundreds, if not thousands, of these vehicles flying back and forth. Okay, so this is an emerging technology. We want to see it launch, no pun intended, in Florida first. And so we have a policy initiative that we've tried to get through the legislature the last 2 years. This year we were successful getting it to the finish line, driving a stake in the ground. So we're saying advanced air mobility, flying cars are a thing in Florida. We've defined it. We've set up all the rules for vertiports. And the next thing is we're going to figure out what public investments do we need to make to attract these manufacturers and operators to the state of Florida. We already have the skies. We've got the weather. Florida's a great aviation state. And we've got to start figuring out how thousands of these new vehicles are going to operate in general aviation airspace. You're going to need technology. You're going to need transportation, infrastructure for communications and autonomy and all of that good stuff. So we're really excited about that policy initiative, and the future is going to be bright with that. I want to talk a little bit about the federal transportation authorization. Now that the Trump administration is in place and all the committees have been established, we've been very engaged at the federal level because that 23% does help us move projects forward. The last 4 years has been a challenge. Under the previous Biden administration, Florida was left out of a lot of funding opportunities. I'll just say that. A lot of the funding went to discretionary grants. Discretionary grants are just that. They're at the discretion of the administration. We are the third largest state in the country, and we were almost dead last in grant awards for transportation funding. And it is not because we didn't apply. I promise you we applied. I promise. We actually applied for a grant for the replacement of the DuPont Bridge, going to the biggest military base rebuild that I've known in my lifetime, and the grant was rejected. So it's really remarkable, but we're headed in a great direction now. We've been spending a lot of time with Secretary Duffy, the Secretary of DOT and his team, all of the committee chairs, and our very own hometown Jimmy Petronas, now Congressman Petronas, actually was given a post on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee in the House. So we're very excited to work with him. He's highly motivated, and I think we're going to make a lot of good progress as they get ready to do reauthorization and plan the future of federal funding for transportation. I want to mention this, and our airport and seaport are here, I know. International trade has become a very big part of Florida's economy. 3 main reasons. One is a lot of people are moving here, and so we have become a consumer. And so everybody across the whole world, they want to do business in Florida. I know this because I've been on several international missions with our Florida businesses. So they want to do business in Florida. Secondly, Florida, because of our low tax burden and low regulatory burden, we are beginning to be viewed as the gateway to the rest of the United States. And the United States is the biggest market in the world, okay? So this is unique for us. We have 16 deep water seaports. Panama City has one of them. And those seaports and also our airports are bringing just tons of growth into the state of Florida. The third reason is because we also have become a place where people put things together. So if you're in another country and you want to get to another part of the world, people ship parts to the state of Florida, manufacture whatever widget they're building in the state of Florida, and then ship it to another part of the world. And so those are the 3 things that have really kind of grown our footprint internationally. Coming up next week, actually, I'll leave to go on another international trade mission. We're going to France, Germany, and the UK. And we have taken so many Florida businesses, and this basically, they just use me to get meetings with people and make deals. And we've had so many businesses strike huge deals on these trips because there's people trying to get into Florida, and also we have a lot of Florida-based businesses trying to get in to other countries, and so it's become a real catalyst for our economy. All right, I'm going to talk about a few projects. I promised you'd be less than an hour, so they actually only gave me 20 minutes. I never make it 20 minutes, I'm sorry. So I just want to talk about our projects. Okay. The flyover at Tyndall Air Force Base, yes, I know it is a little bit behind schedule, but again, Tyndall Air Force Base is undergoing one of the biggest rebuilds ever after Hurricane Michael. This is kind of a staple project supporting that military base, and also what I'll talk about in a few minutes with the DuPont Bridge replacement. That whole area is just going to be transformed, and so we're really proud of that project. US 98, Panama City Beach Parkway, I still call it Back Beach Road. Has gone through a tremendous transformation under District 3's leadership, and we're able to finish that corridor. We funded the last piece with the governor's Moving Florida Forward initiative. That last piece is supposed to start construction in, I think, mid-2026, but I'm confident that District 3 is going to do everything in their power to advance it, right? The cash is just waiting on them. All right. DuPont Bridge replacement going to Tyndall Air Force Base. This is one that actually we are just now starting construction on. The price tag, I think, is close to $400 million. It is going to be not only a replacement of the bridge, but also additional capacity. So it's going to be huge for this region. I think we actually have a groundbreaking plan for later today, so I'm looking forward to that. Bridges are fun. State Road 390 in Lynn Haven. So, oh man, okay. Well, hey, you know, it's almost done, y'all. Come on. Yes. So they have one segment left, and you know, I did get squeezed all the way down to one lane of traffic on the way here this morning. I'm sure they hate having me in their district because it's. So yeah, but that's a legacy project. We actually started working on the plans for that project back when I was in district. Yeah, yeah. So yes, I'm very proud of it, and I did notice that where it has been open to 6 lanes is very nice. Yeah, so all right. All right. 390 from 77 to 231. I know everybody loves that road. Several years ago, we took that over from Bay County. I say we took it over. It was a jurisdictional, mutually agreed upon transfer because it actually does function like a state road. Well, it doesn't right now, but it will once we widen it. Right now, it just is like a big funnel. But there's been a lot of development along that road, and obviously with the school traffic, like it is just, it needs serious help. The district is working on a plan for that. It's a pretty heavy lift for funding, but it is a big priority, I know, for District 3, and it's one we want to see make happen because I think it'll be huge benefit to Bay County, and I'm sure there's a lot of property owners along that road. They're like, hey, buy my property. So I know they're moving on that. It's not funded for construction, but it's a very high priority, and it is definitely high on the list for construction funding. 231, Malfunction Junction. All right. This is one we've been working on for years, even when our great superintendent of schools, Mark McQueen, was back with Panama City. We were working through a lot of the details of what that was going to look like. And, you know, the district has a great plan. I think it's been a real good partnership. The right-of-way acquisition has been massive on this job, and it's ongoing. I do get a lot of phone calls about it. Hey, can you speed it up? What are you doing here? What are you doing there? This is a massive, very complicated project. It's probably going to be one of the biggest projects Bay County has ever seen, and so it's important to get all of those details worked out. And so they've been buying right away for a few years now. We have a placeholder for funding this project out in 2035, but I know it is a priority of Representative Griffiths. I know it's a priority for Senator Trumbull. And so, you know, we're going to work with them to figure out how we can get this thing moving. But the piece in downtown, I would say from downtown to 77, Martin Luther King, and then also going all the way to Pipeline, those two together, the construction cost for that is $750 million. So it's a heavy lift for funding. It's going to take innovation. It's going to take thinking outside the box to move them forward, but it's going to have a huge impact on Bay County, so we're really excited about that. All right, I'll finish with this. It's a call to action. You can tell I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm very grateful to Governor DeSantis. He has been a principled, visionary leader. He's an executive. It really shines through in emergency response when he's right there with us day in and day out, you know, calling the shots, telling people what we're doing, you know, making sure we're taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of. And so, you know, it helps to have good leadership, very passionate about where we're headed as an agency, where we're headed as a state. There is nothing more important to us at DOT when it comes to doing business than community partnerships and engagement. We've made this a priority. We rolled out what's called our FDOT Compass. We put communities at the center. When we build a transportation project, we need to sit down and listen to you, and not just listen, but we need to listen with the intent to do something. That doesn't mean you're always going to get what you want, or it's going to be exactly what you think it should be. But if you sit down and talk to somebody at DOT, when you see the outcome, you should be able to say, you know what, I see a shred of influence from my conversation with them. This is our goal. It has not always been that way, but this is our goal. And I know under the leadership of the district, we're moving that way in District 3. So we're very focused on that partnership and innovation. And so we're going to continue to push the limits. We've done a lot of new things here in the state of Florida that no other state has done. You got to think outside the box. You got to get bureaucracy out of the way. You got to cut through red tape, and you just got to get stuff done. A lot of times in government at all levels, when it comes time to do something, you find yourself being faced with a lot of no's. I can't do that. Can't do this. This rule's over here. That rule is over there. You know, my goal is, hey, let's sit down at a table. Let's build the partnership and relationship. Let's decide what we want to do, and then let's find a path to get there as quickly as possible. That's what makes everybody better. And then aligning behind a common set of goals and a common vision. And it's why I'm here talking to you this morning. We truly cannot be successful. Our success is dependent on you, even in the Panhandle. And we have to align ourselves. You know, what do we want transportation to look like in the future? If we, together in this room, are aligned on what that looks like, the path to get there is going to become very clear, and it's going to be a lot more successful. So thank you for everything that everybody in this room does. Again, thank you, Representative, for having me here. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Secretary. Appreciate it. Welcome home today. We truly appreciate your service to our communities and our great state. Thank you very much, and thank you, Representative Griffiths. Thank you for being here today and introducing Secretary. With that, we are past our 9 o'clock time, so I'm going to take the liberty, and we will not do community announcements today. I want to thank again our sponsor, the United Way, our coffee sponsor, RC Catering and Events, and Coca-Cola, and our entertainment, iHeartMedia. Put on your calendars July 11th right here as our next event. And one other thing, BBIA, Bay Building Industry Association, is having their Parade of Homes this weekend. Starts today at 9 o'clock, 27 homes, information in the rotunda. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you.